Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Adam, aka The Stapler. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. If you guys appreciate and like what you guys see, definitely drop a like and a comment below for the video, and consider hitting that subscribe button. It's the best way to help me out and continue to grow. I got a goal of 500 subscribers by the end of the year. That'd be awesome. But let's see if I can get there. I'm at 190 right now. So appreciate you guys, all the help you guys do. Hope you guys enjoy the video. Go ahead, check it out. Alright guys, welcome to the deck profile. Today I'm going to be showing you guys my pure Blue Eyes deck profile for you. It's more along the pure lines because I'm not throwing the Primite cards in there for this profile in particular. And I know it's pretty expensive, but I've been doing a lot of looking for Magia profiles and all that other stuff, and I haven't been finding any. So if you've been lucky enough to pull a Magia or you bought yours early on or something, here's a profile for you guys. Sorry, I'm stumbling over my words, but here's a profile for you guys. If you guys do happen to have Magia, if you don't have Magia, you can still watch this profile and get ideas from it, because you can always just not go into Magia. There's other fusion monsters that you can go into. There's other ways you can set up your board based off of what cards you draw. You're not always going to get access to Magia, but this deck profile that I've made does allow you to get to Magia a little bit more consistently. So before I hop in, like I said earlier, don't forget to like and subscribe. I really appreciate all that help and support. But let's jump in with the main deck, and we'll start with the Blue Eyes monsters. I'm running two just vanilla Blue Eyes. Some people argue 3, 2, I think it's perfectly fine. Just out of some test playing and test hands, 2 has been sufficient for me. If you see 3, it starts clogging your hand a little bit. You can get it out of your hand. It's not as bad, and it's not as much of a brick in your hand. However, it still can clog it. So 2 is just fine. I like 1 Jet Dragon. Jet Dragon to me is just really good protection. It prevents your stuff on field from being destroyed, and it also just keeps coming back. It's a nuisance that your opponent has to deal with eventually, and if they don't, it can just keep coming back and swinging and returning monsters from the field. So really good card, really good interruption. Keeps coming back. And then our last Blue Eyes monster is Blue Eyes Chaos Max Dragon. This will help us with our Magia plays. Just 1 is fine. You don't need to draw it. We'll have combos later on to show you how we get into it and how we utilize it. But now we'll go into the tuners. We're running 3 Maiden. For those of you who don't know, this is from the new structure deck. This card is really good. It's one of the cards that will help us get into everything we need. It allows you to search or place True Light straight from the deck, and then it also has an effect where it can revive itself if a Blue Eyes is summoned and it's in graveyard. And it also has another effect where if it's targeted, you can summon a Blue Eyes White Dragon or a level 1 Light Tuner from your graveyard. So this is our main card. This card is really good. You want to see it, you want to have it, you want to get access to it. So point blank period, that's how we want to do it. And one of the ways we do it is with Sage. Those of you that have been playing Blue Eyes for a while now love Sage. We've already loved Sage, but Sage's full potential, I think, is now unlocked officially. Just when it couldn't get any better, it did, and it's awesome. So Sage will help you on normal summon add a level 1 Light Tuner, which obviously can add Maiden if you don't have it, or some of these other tuners that we'll show here in a minute. Sage will also, you can discard it from your hand and target an effect monster you control. Send the effect monster to the graveyard, and if you do, special summon 1 Blue Eyes monster, not just Blue Eyes White Dragon, a Blue Eyes monster from your deck. So this is also really good. Like I mentioned earlier, you can use it in tandem with Maiden. If you have Maiden on field, use Sage effect target. Well, now you can chain Maiden, and then now Maiden will can summon the Sage that you just discarded for the effect, can summon the Sage back, and this will be sent to the graveyard, and then you'll summon a Blue Eyes White Dragon or a Blue Eyes monster from your deck, and then when that is summoned, your maiden will summon back out because it'll be in the graveyard. So just some cool little interactions you guys can do there. Something to think about. Our last Eyes of Blue, I consider Maiden an Eyes of Blue tuner, I guess, is going to be Master. Master can go along with our combo, and it can add Sage back or Maiden back to hand. It's a really good card. You can summon it off of your additional normal summon that you'll get from the field spell. I'll show you the field spell later. But that is its main use, is just recurring, getting these two back to your hand. Have some other things that you can utilize as well, but that's what we're going to be using it for. Now, the other tuner that some people play, some people don't, Neo Kaiser Seahorse. I love Neo Kaiser Seahorse. I think it's really good. I think it's good for the Magia build, especially because it is an extender. You can use it as an extender or a starter. So, say you have Blue Eyes White Dragon on field, you can special summon this from your hand. So in that sense, it's an extender, but it can also just be a starter if you want to normal summon it. So if you normal summon it, so then it doesn't have an effect on summon. However, there is an effect when it's on the field. You can target a light tuner, including itself, that you control, increase or decrease its level by 1. So you can manipulate levels to get into different synchro plays if you'd like. I don't usually utilize that too much. However, you can get creative with it and make some really awesome plays. I do believe this is to be used with like one of your level 1s. And let's see, I think there's ways you can use it to get into some funky synchro plays, but I'm not going to get into that right now. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can send one Blue Eyes monster or one monster that mentions Blue Eyes White Dragon from your deck to the graveyard, except Neo Kaiser Seahorse. So this is why we use this card. So if you normal summon it, you can then link it off for Spirit Dragon, which we'll get to in a minute. It's in your extra deck. It's one of the new cards. You can link it off, and it's sent to the graveyard from field. It then uses its effect to dump your Blue Eyes Chaos Max. So if you see this, you get Chaos Max in graveyard, and that is one of the first steps to summoning out Magia. So really good card. I like it for this build. It really helps with getting the Magia plays out, but we also have other ways. So we'll get to here in a little bit. Rounding off the Blue Eyes spells and traps, we've got True Light. Like I said earlier, Maiden will set this, place this face up straight from the deck. So that's why we like it. You do have to be careful with this card. If it gets destroyed or sent from the field or spell trap zone to the graveyard, destroy all monsters you control. So very important. If your opponent ogres this or something, it could be a bad day. There are ways to set up your board to reduce the effect of this or to negate the effect of this. However, just be careful. It can get you. But if this stays on board, this card is really good. There's a reason Maiden is really good, and it's because it gets this card, and this card is really good. It will special summon a Blue Eyes White Dragon from your hand or graveyard. So every turn, you're getting a Blue Eyes back, a body back. Now, when you summon that Blue Eyes White Dragon back, if you have the Maiden engraved, you can summon the Maiden back. It gets you into your synchro plays every single turn. Really good. Another thing is, which in the combo, if you go first, you're usually going to use the second effect to set one spell or trap directly from your deck that specifically lists Blue Eyes White Dragon in its text. Except for it has to have a different name than the card you control and in your graveyard. So this will be getting Wishes most of the time, which we'll get to right now actually. And Wishes is a really, really good card. It's one of the new ones. It's one of the reasons this deck is also more consistent. A lot of people say it's a better Melody of the Awakening Dragon, and I couldn't agree more. Melody does search, the bigger dragons. This searches your tuners, but in this build and Blue Eyes in general now, you want those tuners. You want to get access to them. So what Wishes says is you discard one card for cost. and then you add a level 1 light tuner and one spell or trap that mentions Blue Eyes White Dragon from your deck to your hand except for itself. It also has an effect that says you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one Blue Eyes White Dragon you control, equip one Blue Eyes monster from your extra deck to it as an equipped spell that gives it 400 attack. So this does multiple different things. The first thing is adding the level 1 light tuner and one spell or trap. That'll help us proceed in our combos, which I'll show you later on. But then it'll also, the equipping, after you banish it from the graveyard, equipping is really good because as many of you might know, if you're a returning Blue Eyes fan, Tyrant Dragon, Blue Eyes Tyrant Dragon, I'll show you real quick. This guy allows you to contact fuse into this if you have a Blue Eyes White Dragon equipped with a fusion monster. Okay, so basically you'll banish this and then you'll equip one of your fusion monsters from your extra deck to your Blue Eyes, and then you can contact fuse into Tyrant Dragon. Now Tyrant Dragon is really good going second. It can clear boards, it can clear a whole field of monsters if you can attack over all of them. And it's got 3,400 attack, so it usually does that pretty easily. Continuing on with more Blue Eyes spells, we've got Roar of the Blue Eyed Dragon, Mausoleum, and Majesty. Majesty and Roar are also new cards out of the structure deck. Roar lets you special summon in defense position one Blue Eyes monster from your deck, graveyard, or banishment. But if you don't control a Blue Eyes White Dragon, you can only special summon Blue Eyes White Dragon with this effect. And then also you cannot special summon from the extra deck for the rest of this turn except dragon monsters. So this does lock you into dragons. We only play dragons, okay? That's all we play. So that doesn't really matter. You can also banish this card from your graveyard, fusion summon one fusion monster from the extra deck using materials from your hand or field, including a Blue Eyes monster. So this could also come up to get to your Tyrant Dragon or other, this could get you to your Blue Eyes Ultimate or anything too. So really good card. It's something to keep in the back of your mind, like maybe turn 2 or 3 and you're trying to go for a game. You can banish this fusion summon from your hand or field and get one of the bigger monsters out like Tyrant Dragon or Ultimate Dragon and swing for a lot of damage. So this card's really good. It's really good by getting a Blue Eyes monster out from your deck or graveyard or even your banishment. So if your Blue Eyes get banished, you can get them back with this. Really good card. You could potentially play it at more than 1. I play it at 1. I could see it being bumped up to 2, but I think the space is kind of tight, so I kept it at 1 for now, but that's completely optional. It's really good, so if you want to see it more often, you can definitely bump it up to 2. I don't know if I'd play it at 3, unless you're going for more of a traditional structure deck build. Now Mausoleum. Mausoleum is what you can search off of Spirit Dragon. Spirit Dragon's the new Link 1 monster that we'll get to when we get to the extra deck stuff. This allows you to normal summon one level 1 light tuner in addition to your normal summon or set. So this will let you extend further. It lets you get more bodies on board, and it also allows you to dump a normal monster from your hand or deck to the graveyard. And if you do, the monster that you targeted, so you have to target a monster to dump one. The monster that you targeted gains attack and defense equal to the level of the monster sent to the graveyard times 100. So this could come up. You get into a grindier state, or you're trying to go for game, and you need a few extra 100 attack. You can boost up one of your monsters by targeting it and dumping a Blue Eyes to your grave. So Blue Eyes is the only normal monster I play in this build, so that's what you're going to be dumping with this. It also will help facilitate the Spirit Dragon. So this and the Spirit Dragon work hand in hand with each other. The Spirit Dragon searches this. This will, you can activate this, and then you can target your Spirit Dragon, dump
a Blue Eyes White Dragon from your deck to the graveyard, and then Spirit Dragon will be able to tribute itself and summon that Blue Eyes back. So these two cards coincide with each other. They work really well together. I would not play more than one unless you really want to. If you're playing, like I said, more of a structure deck build, you might want to. But this card, usually people don't worry about it too much, and so it should stick on board. Last but not least, we'll look at Majesty. This is another card that's new from the structure deck. Basically, it's you can pop up to 3 blue monsters, depending on how many Blue Eyes White Dragons you have on field, hand, or in the graveyard. So it's really, really good. It can just, you can set it throughout your combo if you want, or set it on your opponent's turn or your next turn or whatever, and it can get you a lot of advantage, or it can actually just tear down your opponent's board depending on how the state of the game is. You can also banish it and ritual summon 1 ritual monster from your hand, so if you need to, you can do that as well. I haven't had a scenario where that has come up yet, but if, say, you draw the Blue Eyes Chaos Max and you don't have a way to get it to the graveyard, and you don't have a way to your ultimate fusion, maybe you get to turn 2 or 3, you banish this, and then you can ritual summon the Blue Eyes Chaos Max out, and Chaos Max can almost end the game instantly depending on the state of the game if you're able to attack for enough, because it does piercing and all that other good stuff. So that card is also really good. It could be it could be cut for something else if you want. I am playing 41 cards, so that card is flexible if you want to, but I really enjoy it. And then the last of the Blue Eyes spells and traps is Ultimate Fusion. This is what gets us to Magia. This card is what allows us to summon Magia, and we can search it through our initial combo if we go first, or we can search it later on in the game after we've already established the board, maybe got a little bit of control of the game. You don't have to rush into it, but eventually you'll be able to get Ultimate Fusion through True Light or another way, and you'll be able, like, True Light or Wishes are usually your 2 ways you'll get to this, and then you'll be able to activate it and summon your Magia. So that card is really important. It's really good. I suggest you play it if you need to play it if you're playing the Magia build. If you're not playing Magia, I still highly recommend this card. It will get you to a lot of good fusion monsters. Like I said earlier, there's some good ones that you can put in your extra deck instead of Magia. So this card, it also pops face-up cards your opponent controls up to the number of Blue Eyes White Dragons and Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragons used from the field as material. So say you have those 2 Blue Eyes from the deck, somehow they've landed on your board. Whether that's through True Light or Roar or whatever, say you have those 2 and then you activate Ultimate Fusion, you can fusion summon into, say, your Blue Eyes Tyrant Dragon. So your Tyrant Dragon will summon and you'll pop 2 cards on your opponent's field. So it's also very good at taking boards down and playing through established boards. Last 2, I guess you could call them engine pieces. I've got Synchro Rumble, just because we go into Crimson Dragon quite a bit, and then I have Dragon Ravine. So Dragon Ravine will make sense here in a little bit after I show you my extra deck more. But Synchro Rumble is just as soon as you so you can tag Spirit Dragon out into Crimson Dragon. Crimson Dragon will summon, and on summon you can add Synchro Rumble, and this will help you extend into some other plays, or you can hold it for follow-up depending on how your state is. Dragon Ravine also is searchable throughout the combo, like I'll show you later. And then Dragon Ravine is also another way, other than if you don't see Neo Kaiser Seahorse, this is another way that you can dump the Chaos Max to the graveyard. The only bad thing is you're going to be discarding another card to activate this effect. So if you want to bolster your main deck with cards that are that have more value off of being discarded, such as White Son of Ancients or something, I highly recommend it. If that's what you're feeling, go for it. Play it. You know, White Sun of Ancients is a really good card to be discarded, and it's also something that you can utilize in your combo and search later on, or in your starting combo if you want. So if you want to get more value off of that, go ahead. However, otherwise, you're just going to be discarding a random card with Dragon Ravine, and then you'll be sending the Blue Eyes Chaos Max to the graveyard, and that way it's in there for when you have access to Ultimate Fusion. So now that those are out of the way, I do have some non-engine / engine, which is Effect Veiler. It's an honorary mention of engine, just because you can technically normal summon it and link summon into Spirit Dragon, or into Spirit with this card. So it can technically be a pseudo starter. It's not a full starter, but it will get you where you need to if you're in that tough of a spot. But otherwise, it's also just an interruption. So we've got Veiler, we've got Ash. I chose to run the 3 Bestials. If you want, those can be something else. It's up to you. 2 Talents, 3 Thrust, and 3 Imperm. I have only 1 Purge. If I had 2 more purges, whatever you want to say, I might consider maybe like taking out, I don't know, like a talent and 2 Bestials and putting the 3 Purge in. I would always leave Magnemite in, because Magnemite can get you where you need to go turn 0. Say you're going second and your opponent's playing, you can banish a card, summon Magnemite, and then Magnemite can in the end phase search you a starter such as Neo Kaiser Seahorse. So this card can come in pretty good handy. But if you have Purges, I would definitely try and squeeze them in somewhere. Like I said earlier, you definitely should look to play if you have them. If not, this is what I got. All these cards are pretty accessible, so it shouldn't be too bad to get a hold of all those. And that would be it for the main deck. If you guys stuck around this long, I appreciate it. Before we jump into the extra deck, go ahead and like the video and comment down below what you guys would like to see differently in this deck, what you think maybe I could alter to better the deck, or maybe some text that you guys have found that you really appreciate in this Magia build. So without further ado, let's get into the extra deck. I did purchase this Magia early on. I did about 50% trade value and 50% buying it, so whatever that's worth. I did not buy it for $1,000, guys, so I'm not a big baller. I love the card. I went out and got it actually at Nationals last year, so that was pretty cool experience. But if you don't have it, no worries, you can still find value in this video. But this is the main guy that we're looking to summon. We can do that with some of these other cards, but I'll run through that later. But for now, we'll jump into the Link monsters. We've got 2 Spirit with Eyes of Blue. If you can fit 3 in any of the lists that you're playing, I highly recommend trying to squeeze 3 in, but 2 is minimal. You have to play 2. I mean, 1, yes, will get you there, but 2 is for the grind game. 2 is for follow-up. 2 is highly recommended at minimum. This card, like I said earlier, you can link summon using a level 4 or lower dragon or spellcaster monster, so it's kind of generic. And while this is on field, you are locked into special summoning, not just from the extra deck, special summoning in general. You're locked into dragon monsters. So remember that when it comes to Maiden, you're going to have to tribute this to use its effect to summon, the Blue Eyes from your graveyard to get this off the field before, you can special summon your Maiden back, okay? That's a mistake that some people forget and make, and I know it is early on, so try and correct that mistake if you do it early. However, the other things this card does is it will, when it's link summon, so on summon, you can add a Mausoleum of white from your deck and either add it to your hand or send it to the graveyard. yes, technically Mausoleum does have a graveyard effect that lets you banish it to add a burst ring of destruction, I believe, but you're almost never going to do that. So you'll be adding the Mausoleum to your hand, and then that'll you'll be able to activate that and go on with your plays from there. And then, like I said earlier, if you have a Blue Eyes in your graveyard, or if you send the Blue Eyes to the graveyard from the Mausoleum, you can then tribute this card for cost and then special summon the Blue Eyes monster from your hand or graveyard. So it does allow you, so originally in your starting combo, you're probably only going to have access to the Blue Eyes White Dragon, the vanilla, when you utilize this. However, later in the game, if you get into this and you can link, you can tribute it and special summon one Blue Eyes monster from your hand or graveyard. So hand or graveyard. If you special summon an effect monster from your graveyard by its effect, it cannot attack and its effects are negated. So just remember those are key points, but this will help you in the grind game. This will help you in the early game. This is a really, really good card, okay? There's a reason this deck is playable now, and it's at a higher level, and it's because one of those reasons is Spirit. Now we get into our fusion monsters. Other than Magia, we've got Neo, Blue Eyes Ultimate, we have Blue Eyes Ultimate, and we've got Tyrant Dragon. The one, it's so hard. The one you possibly could cut, and I hate saying it, is in this build you could cut Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate. However, this will help you out if you go different routes other than Magia. So I don't really suggest it, but you could. This is going to be one of the targets that you will like to equip with wishes. So when I mentioned earlier, wishes can banish itself to equip a Blue Eyes monster from your extra deck to your Blue Eyes White Dragon. You're equipping one of these two. If you're going for a Magia play, you're equipping this. If you're going for something else, you're going to go for this. And then when you get that Blue Eyes off board, this will be in your graveyard. And this is targeting, I think, targeting negation. Let's see. You can, how does it read? During either player's turn, when a card or effect is activated that targets a Blue Eyes monster or monsters you control, you can banish this card from your graveyard and negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. So targeting negation, it's just another layer of protection for your Blue Eyes monsters. So that if you're going for Magia, this, not going for Magia, probably this, okay? Like I said earlier, Blue Eyes Tyrant Dragon, really good card. Lets you reset some traps. So if you use the Majesty or something else, you can reset it in the damage step. You get to target one trap in your graveyard, set it in your spell trap zone. It's not specific to Blue Eyes, so maybe you can set if you want to set your imperm back, set another trap back, whatever you want to set, you can set it back with this, and it also attacks all your monsters your opponent controls once each, and then it's also unaffected by trap effects. So really good card. I highly recommend playing it. You definitely, I would say you almost need it. It's pretty much mandatory. Now we're gonna go into the synchro monsters. We'll go with the non-Blue Eyes ones first. We've got a pretty standard lineup here. I'm sure you guys have seen it before. You've probably watched videos, but Crimson Dragon, you can summon off of Blue Eye Spirit, the the Synchro Spirit Dragon, and then it'll help you get into your Cosmic Blazar, and if you have there's like the Stardust Cipher, I believe it is, Dragon. I highly recommend trying to squeeze that in here somewhere. But Crimson Dragon, definitely, the reason it's here is to get you into the Blazar. Now, the reason these guys are here is for a different reason. These help you with your Magia plays. I'll show you guys that in a little bit. But basically, the Ancient Fairy Dragon will help you search the Dragon Ravine, and then you'll be able to search the Synchro Rumble with the Crimson Dragon, and the Synchro Rumble will revive a tuner, and you can Synchro summon into Excel Stardust, and Stardust on your opponent's turn will allow you to synchro summon with monsters you control by you like tribute itself, summon this, and then you can synchro summon. And then Stardust Dragon just gives you another layer of protection. When a card is activated, card or effect is activated that would destroy a card or cards on the field. Quick effect, you contribute this card, negate the activation. If you do, destroy it. So this card is a very good protection for your board. It also allows this to use its quick synchro effect, which will get you into it'll get you into another Blue-Eye Spirit Dragon later on. So I'll show you guys that here in a minute, but that is what those guys are utilized for in this build. And then we are going to do what everyone does, and we are going to play 3 Blue-Eye Spirit Dragons. I almost want to say it's mandatory. 2 is minimum. 2 is almost not, like 3 is almost non-negotiable. 2 I guess would be minimum, but 3 is where you want. You run through 3 of them like it's nothing, and then they can tag into Blue-Eye's Ultimate Spirit Dragon, which this one, if you're unfamiliar, is also out of the structure deck, and it is a on-field omni-negate. So your opponent, this has a blanket effect that says your opponent cannot banish cards from your graveyard, which is also good. They can't bestial you when this is on field. And also, when a card or effect is activated on the field, quick effect, you can negate the activation, and if you do, this card gains 1,000 attack until the end of this turn. If it's destroyed by battle or card effect, something that we've needed for such a long time, it floats. So if it's destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon 1 light dragon monster from your graveyard, except Blue-Eye's Ultimate Spirit Dragon. Let's say, oh no, we can't summon Magia back. Anyways, let's say you have basically you can summon any of these guys back. You can summon Crimson Dragon for some reason if it's in your graveyard. This you can summon back Tyrant. This if this was properly summoned. Let me see if you can make sure it's in the screen. If these were properly summoned, you can summon back all of these from your graveyard. So these are all targets you can summon back, and these are all things that Ultimate Spirit Dragon will float into. So keep that in mind. It is really good, and don't forget that effect. I often do, but that will be it for our deck profile. I do not feel like showing a side deck just because it's going to change depending on your local scene or wherever you bring in the deck, your regionals or whatever. So if you guys enjoyed the video so far, I really appreciate it. Definitely give me a like and subscribe. That'd be awesome. But